When I'm getting ready for a race, there's a lot to prepare for. I have enough to worry about, but I never worry about my oil. My sled's ready. Is yours? I'm W.O.B.L.E, professional snowcross racer for Team Amsoil.
Looking good, bud.
Welcome back to Sledhead 24/7. You know, folks, old school rules, and nobody knows that better than Arctic Cat. We're gonna go ride some vintage snowmobiles and have the time of our life. So take a little Advil, sit down, hang on, and enjoy the ride.
Time for a ride back to the future. To the world's largest vintage snowmobile event, the Lake WIconia Vintage Ride. For more than 2 decades, proud passion for classic sleds is displayed on a frozen lake in Minnesota. Much like custom car collectors, vintage snowmobilers gather to share, swap, and show their love of old iron.
Remember in the old days and how they used to ride?
Because there's just more personality. There's a lot more to love.
They want to get back into that sled they first started on.
But just like in life, the journey is the destination. How you get to Lake WIconia is just as important. 6 a.m., these folks have turned back the hands of time. Meet the Wobbles. Yeah, you heard me. Wobbles.
Which stands for Waconia or Bust Leaf Spring Expedition.
This is no ordinary club. They only ride vintage sleds with leaf spring suspension. They've gathered to ride the 40 miles to Lake WIconia.
And we've got about close to 50 vintage riders.
What began as a father and son ride for John Sandberg has grown into a charity ride and much more. Before sunrise, the cats are off, some nearly a half-century old. While the ride on vintage sleds is not so smooth, the camaraderie along the trail makes them forget the bumpy ride. Frequent stops to swap stories or tighten a bolt brings the group a little closer.
What Wobble is ultimately, in my opinion, is it returns us to the roots of the sport. And that is, it returns us to the social part of the sport.
After a few hours, the Wobbles have arrived at Waconia. Time to meet, mix, and mingle with those who share their passion for classic sleds.
For some people, these were the sleds that we had growing up, or the sleds that we wanted to have growing up. So a little bit of it's trying to recapture lost youth. You're going slower, you're not going as far, and it's more about the laughter that happens and the funny little breakdowns that happen.
Well, I call it a 76 snowcross country cat, which started life as a Pantera, a 76, and then it morphidited from there.
There's a massive collection of sleds, and the highlighted sled this year is the Rock.
All the chrome and the red on the white snow just looks great.
The swap meet is one of the few places that vintage collectors can find rare, out-of-production parts.
If it's not here, I don't think you can find it.
Oh, hey, we're just here to have fun. That's all we're here for. Gotta have some fun.
Some sleds have been adapted from other modes of transportation. This one looks like it could fly. Now these sleds are about to take flight. Souped-up drag sleds on ice. But all great days must come to an end. The Wobbles Award Ceremony recognizes the top of the class for old school sleds. The Wobbles have a great way to relive the glory of classic snowmobiling. And if you listen in, you can hear many of the old cats as they purr. He was known as the godfather of snowmobiling, Edgar Hateen. Edgar was the founder of Arctic Cat, co-founder of Polaris. He was an inventor, a visionary who turned the idea of an over-the-snow machine into a fun and profitable winter pastime. His flair for adventure and promotion led him on an unprecedented 1,200-mile snowmobile ride across Alaska in 1960, which brought worldwide attention to the reliability of the machines. Edgar Hattin passed away recently at the age of 90, but his spirit will live on forever. When Sledhead 24/7 returns, fast, nimble, and green to go, it's what the kids want on the snow. We'll check in with racers as young as 4 years old, whose racing style goes well beyond their young years. And from the track to the top of the mountain, we'll show you a ski that can improve the handling of your sled.